In this tutorial, we will transform our dungeon generation script to use a tile map with a sprite sheet, enhancing the visual appearance of our dungeon. We will be using an art pack from 0x72 called Dungeon Tileset. This art pack provides a collection of tiles that we can use to represent floors, walls, and other dungeon elements. Let's open the project from last time where we set up procedural dungeon generation. If you haven't watched that video, click here or on the link in the description. First, download the art pack. Once downloaded, unzip the folder and drag and drop the unzipped folder into the file system panel of the Godot editor. We need to configure the sprite sheet so that Godot can use it within a tile map. Follow these steps. In the scene panel, select your root node 2D node, and let's add a child. Search for and add a TileMap layer node. Select the newly created TileMap node. In the TileMap nodes inspector panel, find the tileset property. Click on empty next to tileset and select new tileset. Click on the tileset to open the tileset editor at the bottom of the screen. In the tileset editor, click on the plus icon, then add Atlas. Navigate to the art pack folder you imported and select the sprite sheet file. It will ask you if you want to auto-create tiles. Press yes. Now that we have our tile map and tileset set up, we need to modify our script to use the tile map instead of drawing color rect nodes. Open up the dungeongenerator.gd script. At the top of your script, add a reference to the tilemap layer node. Next, we'll need to define the locations of the tiles we want to use in the tileset atlas. If you open the tileset again and just hover over a given tile, you can see its coordinates. For this project, we'll use the plane wall, which is located at 0, 1, and also the plane floor, which is located at 2, 3. Next, we need to modify the draw dungeon function we made last time. Let's remove the lines that create a color rect node. As a reminder, in this section we are looping through our grid of cells. First, let's define a variable for the current cell that is being referenced in the grid. Next, we check if this position is marked as a floor tile, and if it is, we call the setCell function on the tile map layer to set this as a floor cell. The first parameter of this method defines the coordinates of the cell we're referring to on the grid. The second parameter references the atlas we're using, and the third parameter is the location of our floor tile on the atlas. Next, since we've already tested for floor tiles, we know that anything else must be a wall. For these cells, we use the same method to set the cell to the wall tile. Let's run this and see how it looks. This looks good, but let's refine this so it more closely resembles the original design in the art pack. If you look at some of the sample images, you'll see we really only see the wall for tiles above floors, while wall tiles below floors get a smaller chipped decal. We also don't have wall sprites along the side of the floors. Without going crazy, we can make some additions in our code to deliver something a little closer to this vision. First, we want to change our code so that it specifies different tiles for walls depending on their position relative to floor tiles, allowing for more detailed graphics. First, we will modify our wall tiles to include both bottom and top variants. Instead of a single wall tile, we now have wall tile bottom set to 0, 1 and wall tile top set to 8, 0. This allows us to display different wall tiles depending on their position relative to the floor, adding more depth to the dungeon's visual design. Next, we'll update the draw dungeon function to handle the new wall tiles appropriately. When drawing each cell, we check if it's a wall. If it is, we determine whether to use the bottom or top wall tile based on the surrounding cells. If the current wall cell has a floor cell below it, we set it to wall tile bottom. If it has a floor cell above it, we set it to wall tile top. If neither condition is met, we set the tile to an empty state using -1, -1. This logic ensures that walls are rendered correctly, with appropriate tiles representing their position in the dungeon. One final change, similar to the sample image, let's set our background color to a purple shade which matches the art pack. Open up project settings and scroll down to the environment. Here we can change the background color. The specific shade can be input as a hex with the value 1C1117. While we're in the project settings, let's also go to rendering, then to textures and change the filtering for nearest. You need to do this for every pixel art project or the sprites will appear blurry. Let's run this now and see how it looks. This is looking very good, and much more similar to the art pack. In the next tutorial in this series, we'll work on improving the generation code so that it produces more clean and consistent results, while also making more variety in the shapes and layouts of the rooms and corridors. If you've enjoyed this video, please be sure to like and subscribe.